The Dolphins stayed put and made a selection with the 21st overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, and Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel elected to go defense, and that defensive player was Chop Robinson, the edge out of Penn State. I have a lot of thoughts on this selection as well as my official grade with the pick. I thought there was a lot of better prospects out there for Miami with this individual pick on different positions and different sides of the ball. We'll work through that as well as other prospects to keep your eye out for on day 2 of the NFL Draft, as Miami does have one selection, just one, pick number 55. But let's talk more about Chop Robinson because he was the pick, and according to our draft expert, Tom Downey, he's ranked 4th overall as an edge and 26th as a prospect. And ironically enough, that's also what the Athletics' Dane Brugler says. Not to call my boy Downey out, but did he just copy his homework or what's up with that? Because the same grade, both edge and overall, is interesting. But what you need to know about Chop, 6'2", almost 6'3", 254, coming out of Maryland. He's a younger prospect, age 21. He is uber athletic. And if you want to take one thing away from this selection, it's the athleticism that Chop Robinson will bring to this defense. And that's not such a bad thing, and I'll have a grade that might be a little bit more negative than you guys like coming up in just a second, but the athleticism he does provide will be a nice change of pace pass rusher to go alongside Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, and Shaq Barrett. But let me know your grade for the pick. What was your initial reaction, and what would you grade the selection of Chop Robinson? Go A, B, C, D, or F. You can give an A+, you can give a C+. Let me know. Those are little plus and minuses are encouraged. Get your votes down below. Yeah, you see the grade on screen. It's not great. It is a C, and listen, I don't want to start out negatively here at the channel. This is only my 3rd video. First one was yesterday with a mock. The second one was earlier today with the pick cut and then with the grades. But like I said, I thought there was better players out there for equal positions of need that the Dolphins have. Let's start with the positives, though, because there are nice things that he can bring to the table, and I'm not going to try to act like it's all doom and gloom for this pick. I just am a little disappointed in Chris Grier's selection. That's all. But with Chop Robinson, the thing that is the most electric and the thing that you should look forward to most as a fan is that athleticism I mentioned a little bit earlier. The one issue, though, is that he does not have a lot of production at Penn State. Just 11.5 sacks throughout his career, whether it be at Maryland or Penn State over the past 2 seasons. But when you think about prospects that could be amongst the best edge rushers in the entire NFL, Robinson possesses those traits. He's got the size, like I mentioned, 6'4", 6'5". His first step is unbelievable. He is so damn athletic. He ran a 4.48 at the NFL Draft Combine, at the 40-yard dash. He is very, very quick, and that's the thing that steps out the most to me. He is so quick. His first step is unbelievable. And when you really think about the top edge rushers in the NFL, you think about how quick they are off the ball. They are able to beat you, whether it be a speed rush, and then they turn that speed into a little spin move back inside, getting after the quarterback. That insane first step that Robinson possesses is already amongst some of the top edge rushers in the NFL, just as a rookie. And one thing you look for as well when you think about rushers that have a really good quick first step is that you have to be able to bend and get around that offensive tackle on the perimeter when you go on the outside. He has that ability, and he's able to get the quarterback down when he gets there. The only issue is he doesn't get there that much, and he is not that comfortable playing physical just yet. Like I mentioned with that first step and that athleticism, he likes to stand on that and rely on his speed and quickness to beat collegiate offensive tackles. And even though I say that, it's not like he had the production to back it up. There are very nice things that he flashed, and he is so gifted athletically that I get the shot that Chris Grier and Mike McDaniels are taking. But to me, a team that Miami is, where they want to win now when they're not paying a quarterback $40+ million just yet, as Tua still doesn't have a long-term extension, I thought they should have gone with a prospect that is ready to help them more now rather than 1 or 2 years down the road. And I just don't think Chop Robinson is that guy. Well, this was only one pick of the first 6 Miami has. They have a pick on day 2 and then 4 on day 3. Help us reach 56,000 subscribers. We're about 140 away from that milestone. We will have the best Dolphins draft coverage throughout the rest of the NFL draft weekend. UDFAs on Sunday as well. We'll have videos, grades, and a mock draft all going out tomorrow. 3 videos tomorrow. We had 2 today. So make sure you subscribe and join us for the best Dolphins coverage on YouTube. We're also sponsored by Game Time, the #1 ticketing app on the market, and they're giving you one heck of a deal right now, $20 off when you download the app, make an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. There is nothing more frustrating to me than spending time looking for seats and not finding good ones because the tickets are so expensive and they're hard to find, whether it be a Marlins game in the spring, a concert at Hard Rock over the summer, Miami football, whether it be the Hurricanes or the Dolphins. You are going to want to go to these sporting events, concerts, and comedy shows, and if you want to do it with getting last-minute tickets, Game Time is the best place for that. They have flash deals and zone deals. Listen, there's nothing more frustrating than having empty seats at the arena or venue. Game Time helps get butts in seats, and they're giving you $20 off when you download the app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. So download it today. There's plenty of more other things that are very nice with Game Time, whether it be the all-in pricing so you don't get bamboozled at checkout with more prices. So download the app today. Terms apply. Use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. That is going to be in the description and comments of today's video with all the information you need. Download Game today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I mentioned the production that was really scaring me about Chop Robinson. You see it right here, man. His 2023 stats is something that you wouldn't think of being a first-round selection at the edge spot. Like, only 4 sacks. Like, that's not great. 15 tackles. Like, he has to be better in the run game as well. Don't get it twisted. He needs a lot of work. Now, the one hope you have here for Miami is that he's able to learn under the 3 veterans you already have. Like Jalen Phillips, who is going to get his 5th-year option picked up, is an absolute stud. You have Bradley Chubb, who you traded for a year ago and sent a first-round pick to Denver, who is very, very good. You also have Shaq Barrett coming in as that 3rd guy who you signed in free agency. So you already have 3 guys, but what Chop is going to be able to do is learn behind the 3 veterans and be that change of pace pass rusher that just relies on his quickness and athleticism. And I could see it working. Like, you get him late in the 3rd and 4th quarters to where these offensive linemen are tired, right? They've been battling Phillips, Chubb, and Barrett all day long. And then you get the speedy young 21-year-old in there. Yeah, that might be difficult for them to keep up with. I think he is going to be an impactful player for this team. But as I'm going to keep on referring back to, I just think there was other guys out there. Before we wrap up the conversation on Chop Robinson and transition into day 2 targets for Miami, this quote from Dane Brugler I did want to share. Chop Robinson needs to continue developing to prove he isn't a one-trick pony, but his first step explosiveness and aggressive hands give him the potential to be the most dynamic pass rusher in this class. And as you see, he graded him as a first-round, early second-round pick and the number 26th overall. Obviously, he went 21. And when you look at this edge depth chart and where he's going to slot in, you have Jalen Phillips as your lead guy, but he is coming off of torn Achilles that he suffered last year at MetLife. So is he going to be ready for year 1? I don't know if that's going to be the case. He expressed confidence that he will be back, but you do have Chop Robinson now as insurance. Same thing with Bradley Chubb coming off an injury. He's also a little bit older. Your 2 top guys are as good as it gets at the edge department as a duo, but you're just not so confident in their ability to be ready to go early in the season. So now you have Chop Robinson, who I slot in as your 4th guy behind Shaq Barrett and the 2 that are currently injured. I think this could be a good pick. Like, I hope I'm eating my words. I know I'm kind of going back and forth here. I gave it a C grade. I'm going to stick with my first gut reaction because I just thought there was other prospects out there that Miami could have targeted and that would have made more of an impact for this roster right away. One of them is actually still on the board, and I did want to transition into the best available players on our Chat Sports big board, but he would be my number 1 guy as well. Jerzon Newton, a.k.a. Johnny Newton, the defensive tackle from Illinois. I thought he was going to go in the first round, no question asked. And I'm telling you right now, if Miami picked him at 21, I would have given it a B-plus grade. That's how good I feel about Johnny Newton. So, if Chris Grier wanted to get nuts and trade up early into the second round, I would be all in on grabbing Johnny Newton if he wanted to grab him just 15 spots ahead, because the first couple selections in the second round are projected to be offensive line and wide receiver, so he might be able to fall a little bit more. There's also other guys out there like Edgerrin Cooper, who's been mocked to Miami. If you want to get nuts, Adonai Mitchell as that third wide receiver. Let's create the best wide receiver core in the NFL with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Braylon Rice is also interesting, but they already got an edge here. Could they go more of an X wide receiver in Keon Coleman? One of the biggest needs for this team was no doubt offensive guard play on the interior. That's why I was a little bit disappointed. Graham Barton, the offensive lineman from Duke, is someone that I really wanted to take. That's who I mocked to Miami yesterday at 21. He was on the board when the Dolphins selected Chop Robinson, and he was gone at 26 to Tampa Bay. So that's the reason why I was disappointed, because I thought there was other guys out there. Cooper Beebe, though, in the second round could be that guy to slot in for Miami in the right guard position. And if you wanted to go with another defensive tackle instead of Johnny Newton and you want to stay put at 55 and draft there, Braden Fisk, the defensive lineman from Florida State, could also replace Christian Wilkins. Before we sign out of here, Dolphins draft profile. They obviously made the pick at 21. They had 6 total picks today or in this draft, 2 in the first 3 rounds, the other one coming in 55 tomorrow evening. And the biggest needs, like I mentioned, interior offensive line, interior defensive line, offensive tackle depth between Austin Jackson and Teron Armstead, and then the edge position. They got the edge spot picked. Now it's time to go make some difference with those other 3 needs. I know a lot of people are going to say, should have drafted Xavier Worthy, should have went with the speedy wide receiver to make the fastest wide receiver room in the NFL. I'm cool passing on that to go with a different position. I actually am, because I do believe Odell Beckham Jr. might be a Miami Dolphin. But let me know, who do you want the Dolphins to pick in round 2? If I had to give a very short list between trade options or staying put at 55, I'll go Johnny Newton number 1. I'll go Cooper Beebe. I'll go Braden Fisk. I'll probably leave the wide receivers out of it. I was only in on a wide receiver if you were going crazy speed with Xavier Worthy. I'm not really wanting to go burn that second round pick with a wide receiver like Keon Coleman or Ladd McConkey or someone like that. So I'm going to stick with my guns. If they were to trade up for Johnny Newton, and I'm telling you right now, if they traded up and took Newton in the top 40 tomorrow, I think that would be a home run second round pick, and I would be grading that an A+. Little teaser for tomorrow. Make sure you are subscribed, because we're going to bring you a mock draft for tomorrow, more updated draft targets for Miami. We'll react to who they select, and we'll have another grade cut tomorrow as well. So we're covering everything with the Miami Dolphins. Let me know who you want the Dolphins to pick, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.